Hello everyone and welcome to Grammatically Incorrect News. This week, Flappy Birds' wings are clipped by the developer, the Left 4 Dead creators show off their newest IP, the latest trailers and game releases, and a recap of the latest Nintendo Direct. Flappy Birds, the mobile game phenomenon that has become a cult hit on Android and iOS devices, has been removed from the in-app stores by the creator of the game. Many were shocked and surprised by this announcement after Doug Nagyar, the creator who, from Vietnam, was making $50,000 a day through adverts alone. People assumed it was pressure from other game developers such as Nintendo, since the game used very similar art like the pipes from Super Mario Bros. Within the game. However, Nintendo and Dong denied this, and it soon came out that it was for one of the most unlikely of reasons. The developer took the game down because he was worried about people getting addicted to the game. He stated, "Flappy Birds was designed to be played in a few minutes when you are to relax," he said to Forbes magazine earlier this week. But it happened to become an addictive product. I think it has become a problem. To solve that problem, it's best to take down Flappy Birds. It's gone forever. It seems to be a strange reason, but if you look at Dong's Twitter, you can see after a torrent of hate messages he received after taking down the game, which is a different matter altogether, that he was worried about the player's states of mind. He replied to a tweet from a user who said, "I've been playing Flappy Birds for 3 hours straight. It's the most addictive thing ever." He answered this Twitter with the following, "That is too much. Please give yourself and the game a break." The reason given is fair enough, but I feel it's more than the addictive angle he has given. When you look at the threats he's received, he must have been under a lot of pressure. No matter how thick your skin is, it only takes one insulting tweet to ruin your day, and I bet you he received more threats even before he took down this app. If you did download the app before it was removed from the store, you will still be able to play the game, and a multitude of clones and game jams have been set up to recreate this game. If you did miss out, you'll soon be able to flap again. Total Rock Studios, the creators of the Left 4 Dead series, were showing off their latest game this week called Evolve. Similar to their previous game, Evolve is a multiplayer only game with a focus on 4 players versus 1. 4 players will control hunters with 4 specialist classes with their own weapons and equipment, while the 5th player will control the monster, which as the name implies, is capable of evolving over the match. The game will take place in a lush environment that is inhabited by other creatures that the monster can consume to evolve, but it needs to be careful about leaving tracks since the hunters will eventually enter the field and try and hunt him down. The developers talked about how diverse the game is, with the monster being able to choose different evolution paths and set traps and ambushes in the environment in order to survive till he can kill the hunters. The hunters will have their own tactics by killing the wildlife so the monster can't evolve, and devices to locate and trap the monster. It's a new take on the multiplayer gaming genre, and will be interesting if Turtle Beach Studios can pull off the balancing act of not making one side weaker than the other. You can expect Evolve to be released in the fall of this year and will be available on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and the PC. It's that time of the show to highlight some of the latest trailers, game releases and smaller news items for the week. The developers behind South Park: The Stick of Truth showed off the first 13 minutes of the game this week, and it looks mightily impressive. The game consists of a turn-based combat system similar to the Paper Mario series and contains all the iconic humour from the show. The most impressive thing about this game is how well it pulls off the look of the show. The game will be available on PC, Xbox 360 and PS3 on the 4th of March in the US and the 7th of March in Europe. From Software, the developers behind the upcoming game Dark Souls 2, announced a pre-order bonus that got hardcore fans of the series, including myself, disappointed in them. Anyone who has pre-ordered will get access to weapons that they would normally only get later on in the game. The boons they give aren't that amazing over the starting year, but it was disappointing to see it was included in a Souls game, which has never been known to make your life easier. Sony this week confirmed a few more indie games which will be joining the Vita and PlayStation 4 library later this year. Risk of Rain, the roguelike pixel art action game, will task you with escaping a planet you crash landed on that is inhabited by swarms of creatures that get increasingly harder the longer you play. The other game that will be joining the library is SteamWorld Dig, a Metroidvania style game mixed with Minecraft, where you'll be digging your way down to find all the treasures hidden within the world with upgradable gear that will help you unlock new areas. Both titles will be available on the Vita, and SteamWorld Dig will also be coming to the PlayStation 4 as well. Ubisoft announced that the long-delayed open-world hacking game Watch Dogs will be arriving between April and June on all platforms, apart from the Wii U version that has been delayed. The CEO said, "We made the difficult decision to further delay the release of Watch Dogs on the Wii U, to focus the team's resources when they could have a broader possible benefit for both our customers and Ubisoft." Microsoft this week announced that their first official stereo headset for the Xbox One will be released in early March at a recommended retail price of $80 in the US or £60 in the UK. It will be a wired headset that has a unidirectional microphone and comes with a detachable stereo headset adapter that has a volume control for the headset and microphone. There are no official headsets released for the Xbox One yet, which gamers have been clamouring for since the release of the console. Well-known brands such as Turtle Beach and Triton are still being developed for the new console. Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn will be available on the PlayStation 4 on the 13th of April, and Square Enix has announced a beta for PlayStation 4 owners that they can take part in from the 22nd of February. It was also confirmed that you could transfer your characters from the PC and PlayStation 3 starting from the 11th of April, but you won't be able to play on the original platforms you transferred from. This week's releases include Lightning's Return, the third game in the Final Fantasy XIII trilogy, which carries on from the last game with a new combat system and story to wrap it all up. Reviews have been, to say the least, all over the place, stating the story is as stupid as ever, but the combat being a major highlight. I have to say I've been bitten by too many bad Final Fantasy games of late, so we'll be avoiding this till it goes into a sale. If you're looking for a classic RPG experience, I highly recommend Bravely Default that came out last week for the 3DS in the US, but has been out in the UK for quite some time. The Last of Us Left Behind is the first and only story piece of content being released for the game, and was released last Friday on Valentine's Day. I managed to play through it this weekend and it took me around 2 to 3 hours to complete. Keep an eye on my channel for a full review coming this week. Borderlands 2 received another piece of DLC content called Mad Moxie and the Wedding Day Massacre. This DLC joined the other Headhunter DLC themed around certain holidays and sees you attending a wedding of 2 different bandit gangs. Nintendo held its first Nintendo Direct of the year, which ran down some of the latest announcements, trailers and game releases that you can expect this year. If you fancy watching the 40-minute Nintendo Direct, click on the annotation below which will take you to the video. First off, Super Smash Bros. Will be joined by Little Mac from Super Punch-Out! He seems to be a fast character with some powerful finishers. The total roster of characters is up to 23, and this installment of Smash is meant to have less than the previous game's 36 character roster. All I've got to say is, where is my Nez and Lucas? They best not have been cut. In March, the 3DS will be getting Yoshi's New Island, which is a reimagining of the classic Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, followed by Kirby's Triple Deluxe and Mario Golf in May. Nintendo then made a game available to download during the Direct, which is the company's first attempt into a free-to-play market called Steel Divers Sub Wars. This first-person game includes the whole multiplayer mode for free, along with some single-player missions. If you want to get access to more of the single-player campaign, you can purchase it as an add-on for the game. This game will be followed in April by Rusty's Real Deal Baseball, a mini-game collection where you can try out a collection of baseball-related games, then purchase them for a small amount. You can even haggle the price of each game down by bribing the owner with donuts. I'm very interested to see how this affects the game's prices and the business model behind it. This was followed by a bunch of purchasable download games, including a match-3 game called Pokemon Link Battles, Inazuma 11, a Japanese soccer RPG game, Weapon de Omas Shop, and NES Remix 2 that will include more insane game mix-ups from Kirby, Zelda 2, Metroid and many more for the Wii U. Speaking of the Wii U, we got a bunch of game trailers but not much in the way of new IPs. Mario Kart 8, the game Nintendo is banking on for selling Wii U consoles, got an epic new trailer with not 1, not 2, but 7 new character reveals in the form of all the Koopa kids from Bowser's family. Next up was Donkey Kong's Tropical Freeze that comes out this Tuesday in the US and in the UK on Friday. I was a bit upset that Retro, who did the last Donkey Kong game, was making another instead of a new IP, but the trailer makes it look quite impressive. I've got my copy coming this week, so expect a review next week. X, the spiritual sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles, a much praised RPG for the Wii, had a new gameplay sequence showing off the game. I didn't care for Xenoblade much, and I got the same feeling after watching the gameplay from X. except with mechs. But the series is well loved by RPG fans, so I can't fault them for that. The last thing that was shown off was Bayonetta 2, and this game looks even more mental than the first one. The game includes a whole range of new angels to kill, and a rival clan who is hunting down Bayonetta. You can look forward to this game coming to Wii U exclusively this year. That was about it for the Direct. There wasn't anything new or groundbreaking, but it's great to see Nintendo not being dampened by the estimated sale figures that they reported last year. That's all your news for this week. Please subscribe to the channel, and you can look forward to reviews, random game videos, features, and more news. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.